Happiness Hall. Things weren't going that great at home. Oh, they weren't terrible, but he just wasn't happy. He had to obey a lot of rules, do a lot of chores, do tons of homework. And for what? Just to make other people happy. So he listened real careful when he first heard about it. This place in town called the Happiness Hall. He couldn't wait to check it out. So that Saturday, he skipped out on his afternoon chores and rode his bike downtown. He ran up the long stairs in front and zoomed through the front door to see what this place had to offer. Well, right off the bat, the large, bright, rainbow-colored door on the left was wide open, beckoning him to enter a wonderful world of cupcakes, candy, chocolates, soda, ice cream, and so many other sweet treats. His teeth still hurt as he remembers the hours and hours of his youth that he'd spent in this paradise of failed promises. Not officially entrapment, because he was always free to leave, but the enticement was way more than any average preteen could resist, especially someone like him who just wanted to be happy. And happy he was, at least until a weird thing happened one day. After his paper route, he was enjoying about an hour's escape into this candy land, and as he wandered further in than he'd ever been before, he noticed the whole atmosphere faded from bright and colorful into a dimly lit kind of dark gray. The noise of other children having fun also faded to nothing. Rather suddenly, he went from the joy of eating new treats to feeling around the now very dark area to find a way out. It was right about then, as he was feeling his way around, that he bumped hard into the first pile of bones. His fear hit the ceiling as his body hit the floor. He had tripped and stumbled into a clattery pile of dusty old bones, and he couldn't get out soon enough. Totally freaking out, he bounced off a couple of walls before he accidentally found the exit and panic ran back into the light. He raced out into the hallway and vowed never to come back, which lasted about 3 days. He figured that he'd just never go in that far again. Then he could still enjoy the fudgy feelings without the bones. Perfect. Except the darkness moved closer to the door each time he visited. And he seemed to bump into it sooner and sooner, till it totally wasn't worth it. Finally, after several years, he walked right past that door, realizing that there was no real happy in those good feelings, just calories, cavities, and calamity. Although he'd just been rescued from the wrong place to find happiness, he unfortunately now suffered from something more harmful. The good feelings that he did temporarily enjoy led him into a search for something that simply strung more good feelings together. If he could find that something, he would be happy. So he hit the hallway with new focus and direction. Easily passing that first door, he gladly joined the good-looking crowd around the second door, where loud music and laughter lured searchers like himself into what promised to be exactly what he was looking for. There were lots of tables near the door where he could hang out with tons of other teens, and everybody could get some beer, a little wine, or some smoke. They played a lot of friendly poker and all just had a blast. He was really making friends. And over the next few years, The music and the laughter worked together to bring the whole party further inside, where the drinks and the drugs and the sensuality flowed a lot freer. And it all felt so good. He still gets the heebie-jeebies when he relives that first time he was coming back from the bathroom and noticed a set of saloon doors that he'd never seen before. The lights and music were blasting from the inside. So with a gung-ho kind of here I am vibe, he kicked them open, only to find a huge dark room full of skeletons and cobwebs. No music, no laughter, no life. He ran back to his friends and did his best to drink that sight away. And even though those saloon doors seemed to move closer to the entrance every time, he came back. He still came back. Because this is where his friends were, and it still felt good, even though it always seemed to take a little more drink and a lot more time. Plus, he was very excited to find that not much further down the hall, the fun kept kicking. Bright lights blasted out of dozens of large open doorways, lining the left side of the hallway for as far as his eyes could see. Well-dressed, smooth-talking salespeople stood at each opening with their warm smiles and frequent free samples. They each invited him to enjoy everything from motorcycles, boats, cars, to hang gliders, cruises, and roller coasters. The entertainment doors screamed super fun video games, all the music you love, sports 24/7, fascinating movies all day, every day, live concerts, golf, fishing, hundreds of new restaurants, door after door after door, each promising a new thrill or an enticing escape or a surefire cure to that hole in your soul. All for low money down and easy monthly payments. But as you can probably guess, every single one of those doors eventually led to the same dark, dead back room. "What's going on?" he shouted in total frustration. "Were we never meant to be happy?" Now a weathered man, far older than his years, he found himself in the old familiar hallway. His heart still yearned in futility for something that seemed now to be unreachable. His youthful hopes had withered into a crusty cynicism. He looked around at all the things this hall had offered over the years and scoffed, "Happiness. Yeah, right." But here he was again, walking the well-worn hall. But this time, he noticed something new that had probably been there all along. Another door. This one on the right side of all places. Not far from the glitzy neon-lit doors, hidden in an alcove. Its dark and cobwebby appearance probably would have put him off even if he had seen it sooner. But now that darkness seemed to have become his lot, he grasped the large old door handle and slowly pulled it open. It's safe to say he was stunned to find a large, friendly crowd of people enjoying conversation over what seemed to be a holiday banquet. They welcomed him in, much like what he'd experienced before, but without the kind of hyped-up creepiness. They showed genuine interest in him and were so open about their own lives that he couldn't help but lower his own guard at least a little. But after 20 or 30 minutes, he slapped his cheek to wake himself up before the inevitable disillusionment hit. He ran out knowing that the death door had to be part of this picture somewhere. Then, a couple of nights later, he came back. This time he stayed a nice long time, truly enjoying the friendship and the acceptance. He even asked them about the death door, only to find out that it didn't exist on this side of the hall. It turned out that the Happiness Hall had been originally named when this was the only door in the hall. The whole other side had been developed over decades to distract everybody from even noticing the original door. As he tried to process all this upside down, inside out new information, he asked, "Why is your door so dark and creepy?" "Oh, yeah," they said, "we didn't want to draw people who were just selfishly looking to string good feelings together." He gulped as if they were reading his mind. "No, we wanted people to find us after they discovered that the other ways never work. So we decided to play it low-key and trust that the right ones will find it." Suddenly, he noticed a major wave of new activity stirring in the large auditorium. Papers were being handed out to everyone there, and groups seemed to be leaving as soon as they got their papers. Puzzled, the man asked his new friends what was happening. "Oh, this is the heart of us getting together," they told him. "Each piece of paper being handed out has somebody's name and something they need. So we just go out and get it for them." "What?" he asked incredulously. "You all go out and help complete strangers?" "Well, they're not all strangers, but yeah. We found that helping others was the key to a happy life. But we don't always feel like it, so we get together a lot and do it together. We didn't name this place Happiness Hall. The city did." And that's how a withered, weathered old man finally found what he thought he'd never find. And he helped others happily ever after.